So let's start the movie with Henry, who was spending his time in a toll collector's booth on a dark night. After finishing his night shift, he came back home, where his wife, Debbie, brought him some snacks and water. Suddenly, Debbie asked Henry if he still loves her. Henry said, yes, absolutely, but he didn't seem very interested in saying it. Anyway, in the middle of their conversation, the doorbell rang, and it was Henry's friend Eddie at the gate. Actually, Eddie's friend Joy had gotten very sick because of food poisoning. Now Debbie brought Edie inside. Edie told Henry that we were going to play baseball, but he had eaten something in the morning that made his stomach upset. So, Henry, will you come play baseball with us? Henry said yes when he heard this. In the car, Edie told Henry to stop at the next bank because we had some work there. But poor Henry didn't know that he would end up doing the work himself. The three of them entered the bank just like thieves, and as soon as the alarm went off, they ran away from there. But poor Henry got stuck because he was wearing the same clothes as the thieves. After being brought to jail, the detective started asking Henry about his friends' names. But Henry didn't mention anyone's name because of his friendship. So the judge gave him a punishment of 3 years. Henry wouldn't know that baseball would cost him so much. Anyway, he met an old man named Max in jail who became friends with him by saying hello. Now, talking about their friendship, Max asked Henry what his dream is. Then Henry said, "Dream? I don't have any dream." This seemed a little strange to Max, so he explained to Henry that it is very important to have a dream in life. Otherwise, your life will become purposeless. It means that you won't have any goals. Now, let's go back 6 months in the story. Debbie went to meet Henry. She told him that she loves someone else now. It means that Debbie now considers someone else as her special person and likes them. Guess who came? It was Henry's friend, Joy. Henry didn't mind at all, so he smiled and said that he just wants to see her happy. Now, let's fast forward 1 year in the story where Henry is shown. Because of his good behavior, he was released on parole quickly. After leaving, he first went to his home, where his brother welcomed him with an open mouth. Debbie went to meet Henry with a beer and her pregnant belly. After talking a little bit, Henry took his things and went to another house, where he watched TV. He was just passing time there, and then he went back to the same bank that had made his life difficult. But then, he had an accident on the road with a car, and it wasn't a regular driver. It was the TV ad lady Julie, who started yelling at Henry, asking him if he couldn't see her. But when he saw the bank guard Frank, his attitude changed, and he asked if he got hurt. Henry took Frank to a cafe, and Julie left after asking about his well-being. After she left, Henry drank some water and went to the bathroom, where he noticed an old article that said a long time ago there was a tunnel under the bank's locker, connected to the theater next to the bank. After reading this, Henry started thinking of doing something mischievous. So, he left from there and went straight to meet Mac in jail. Henry told his friend in jail that he had a dream of robbing the same bank that had ruined his life. He said he would need his friend's help too. At first, Max didn't want to do it, but then he agreed for Henry's sake. He even behaved well in counseling and got his parole. Now that they were together again, they went to see the news article, which turned out to be 80 years old. So, they needed to find out if the locker was still there. They both went to both banks, and Max started talking to the bank manager as if he came there every day. The manager was really impressed by Max's big achievements. During their conversation, Max found out that yes, his locker is still in the same place. Now, they left from there and reached the theater, which is still connected to the locker through a tunnel. And Julie also used to act in that theater. However, Julie's acting was not very good. Anyway, Max said that he was in this theater 20 years ago. Then Max said that he wants to see the theater again. After that, a man took Max to show him the theater. Now, through the theater, Max found out that the tunnel connected to the locker comes out from behind a wall in a dressing room. Henry really liked Julie a lot, so he asked her to have dinner with him tonight. Julie said yes. In the evening, they started their dinner and had a lot of sweet conversations. But after talking so much, they realized they were in a relationship. Henry told Julie about his plans. When Max found out about this, he got angry at Henry at first. But then he calmed down because he was thinking about something else. Henry really liked Julie a lot, so he asked her to have dinner with him tonight. Julie said yes. In the evening, they started their dinner and had a lot of sweet conversations. But after talking so much, they realized they were in a relationship. Henry told Julie about his plans. When Max found out about this, he got angry at Henry at first, but then he calmed down because he was thinking about something else. After being cast in Henry's play, they started causing trouble in the dressing room. But when they reached the mouth of the tunnel, they saw a big stone blocking it so that no one could go from the tunnel to the locker. Henry thought they might need more workers, so they went straight to Joy's place. Joy's business had failed completely, so he agreed to join Henry's plan. Now they started preparing for their play on stage and became clever at opening the tunnel in the dressing room. Henry did a great job in the play. They were digging a tunnel very well. One night, they were going back home from the theater when a bank guard named Frank stopped them and said, "First, I saw you in the bank, then you were near the street next to the bank, and now you're coming out of the theater behind the bank. So, I know what you are up to." Now, Frank sat in their car to help them. But why? Because he also wanted to get revenge from the bank. When his wife got very sick, the bank didn't give them the money from their insurance, so they couldn't afford her treatment, and she sadly passed away. Frank said that he will tell you the day when all the money from the small banks will be shifted to the big bank. On that day, you should secretly go into the locker and take a big handful of money. When we got home, these people started discussing where we should go with all this money. Then, Joy came to their gate and apologized for coming in because Joy had gotten drunk and had thrown up in front of Henry's plane. Max first started calling Eddie crazy for doing anything after drinking alcohol. But when Eddie didn't listen, Max didn't have to include him in his plan either. The next day, they found out that the day they would steal from the locker, Henry's play would be in the theater. Henry became a little sad after knowing this because he didn't want to leave Julie behind. He told Julie that he would steal from the locker and leave from here after 2 days. Then, Julie asked why he came so close to her when he had to go away from her. Hearing this, poor Henry sadly left from there. Now, on the night of the scene theft, Frank also turned off the locker's alarm system after his friends left, and these three started filling money in the locker. Then, Eddie took all of them at gunpoint because he wanted all the money for himself. But Henry arrived there and killed Eddie. Now these three people took all the money and started running away from here. But in the middle of the way, Henry realized that he was doing something wrong with Julie. So he got out of the car and went back to the theater where their play's last scene was going on. And right there, Henry proposed to Julie. At first, Julie started saying to get off, meaning she wanted Henry to get off the stage. But then she understood that he came here with true feelings. Then Henry told her to meet him in Moscow because if he stayed here, the police would catch him. So, we will meet in Moscow. And with that, the movie ended. How did you like the rest of the video? Make sure to let us know by liking and commenting. Now we will meet in our next video.